And we had lots of parties, too, where we interacted with the young boys about our ages. But those parties were always very much chaperoned. You had no free time with young boys.
What was college like for you?
College was a little bit different, but since I went to college at home, I still had, even the girls, though, who lived in the residence halls at the university, they had what they called matrons. So everything was still controlled and protected. And whenever we had parties, even at the college age, they were chaperoned.
And then, so you went to Alabama State?
Yes.
That's right. And then after you graduated from Alabama State, did you move away for a while?
No, I didn't move away until I decided to go to graduate school.
Okay. All right. And how old were you when you decided to go to grad school?
I had graduated with a bachelor's degree and certification in education, and I had completed 2 years of teaching. And I was ambitious about being able to take care of myself. And my older son was born by then, because when you were in college, you were expected almost immediately, as soon as you completed your bachelor's degree, you were supposed to get married.
And so you did.
And so I did. If you didn't get married, you weren't considered to be highly successful. First you got your bachelor's degree, then you got a husband.
Well, how did you meet your first husband?
He was a student at Alabama State.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
And then you got on that train from Alabama to Los Angeles.
When I look back on it, that was a real milestone and plateau. And my motivation to go from Montgomery to Los Angeles, California, I lived within walking distance of Huntington College, and I didn't live very far from the University of Alabama, which is in the main campus in Tuscaloosa. But we as blacks couldn't even walk on that campus. And my family and friends and my community held education in very high value. And they always were affirming with your aspirations to continue to be educated. And I had the determination to continue my education. And when I said that I wanted to go away from Montgomery, since I had blocks based on race, they thought that was wonderful. And everybody pushed it. They wrote it up and put an article in the Montgomery Advertiser.
Did they really?
That I was going away and had been accepted at the University of Southern California.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And I hadn't traveled alone. I got on the train in Montgomery and traveled all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast.
How was that? What was that like?
It was not at all intimidating, because I was young and very positive about my possibilities and fearless. And I thought it was such an exciting thing to do. So that's
pretty cool.
What I did.
People used to get dressed back then to get on the train, didn't they?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Do you remember the outfit that you wore?
I don't remember the outfit. And maybe the main reason I don't remember the outfit, in my community, we always value being dressed. And the elder women encouraged dressing and looking pretty, even with gloves and a matching purse and matching shoes. So I'd already internalized that value. So to get on the train, I had my bag packed with all of and my mom bought us such pretty clothes. She did teach us to be conscious, though, of being frugal about spending money. So as soon as we peeped the mystery of there not being a Santa Claus, we never did Christmas shopping until the day and week after Christmas so we could take advantage of the sales. But when we did shop, we were encouraged to buy designer clothes. And that's what we did.
Okay. All right. And then you were there for 2 years, and then you came back. And when you came back, was that around the time that you met Papa Herb?
Well, I didn't complete my graduate work in one continuous episode because I had my older son, Eric, and I didn't like being away from him. So I went back home, and in the meantime, what happened simultaneously is that Herbert was called to the pastorate of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, and he came there as a single minister.
You know, this is one of my favorite stories. You know this, right? This is, I love this story so much. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you did not want to date Papa Herb?
Well, as the saying goes, my friends, I belonged to a club of young women, and we were considered to be the pretty girls and the fashionable girls, and we gave the best parties, both at holidays and periodically, the best parties and picnics, and we just had a good time.
Nice.
Yes. And when Herb came as a single minister and expressed an interest in wanting to date me, I told my girlfriends in that club, Alpha Sigma Omegas, I said, guess what? The pastor wants to date me. And they thought that was so funny. And I said, I'm not going to be bothered with the preacher. And he was persistent. At the end of church service, I wouldn't go out the center door to greet him because I didn't want to be bothered with him.
So you would dodge him.
I was dodging. And then he said he wanted to come to my house to visit my family like pastors do. And my grandmother, the matriarch, my maternal grandmother, she noticed I was getting ready to go away. She said, where are you going? I said, I have something to do. She said, no, the pastor is coming. She said, and you will stay here and receive him with the rest of the members of the family. Oh. I didn't like that too much. And he did come. We had an extra long, what they call Chesterfield sofa.
Yes.
It spanned almost the whole wall in the living room. And when he came, my grandmama stuck her head in the hallway door to the bedroom. She said, Delores, Reverend Eaton is here. So I knew that meant I was supposed to come up. I came in the living room. I sat on the farthest end of the sofa that I could get to. And he had already seated himself on the other end. And my grandmother sat on the sofa. And she and my mother engaged him in conversation. And he would look around to try to include me in body language and words. And my responses were always monosyllables. Yes, no, meaning, I don't want to be bothered with you. I'm here because I have to be. And I would go and tell my friends about the visit. They said, well, you know what? It would be fun just to see what he's like. So why don't you accept a date? So I did. And first time we were away from my home in Montgomery, there was a tradition about walking around the block because I was a young adult then, even though I was still subject to the rules of the house. I was grown and had a child, but I was still subject to the rules of the house. So we walked around a 4-city block, just talking leisurely, the two of us. And he asked me out again to go to a movie. And I went. After the walk around the block, I went and told my friends in the club, I said, he's kind of interesting. And the thing that really amazed me, Herbert succeeded Martin Luther King, who had gone back to Atlanta. But I was dating King's best friend. And he was a music professor at Alabama State. And he had accepted a position at Grambling College in Louisiana. And he'd come back for weekend visits. So I knew I was just dating Herb out of curiosity to report to the girls what it's like to date a preacher. But soon I started telling my friend from Louisiana, Bob, I'm going to be busy this weekend. Don't come this weekend. It was because I'd accepted a date with Herbert. Then I said, I think I kind of like him. And they were amazed. And then the rest is history. Yeah. We kept dating until we became engaged to be nurtured at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church that my great-grandmother was part of the founding. And my mother was raised in that church. And she raised all 5 of us in that church. And they knew me well. They planned a big wedding. And every auxiliary in the church gave a shower for us. And the theme of the shower was things that I would need in the parsonage to be the hostess, the official hostess for the church, what they call the first lady.
The first lady.
Yes.
Yeah, first lady bridal shower.
Yes. And of course, I didn't wear a veil. My attire was modified because I was a matron who had been married. But I put a lot of energy in preparing how I was going to look. And I wore a white straw hat that was open and my hair coming out the top. And I had on a white handkerchief linen dress that had tucks and tucks with a blue sash and a little nosegay at the side. Went to Atlanta to buy it because the Abernathy's, who were also friends, my friend and Herb's friends, he was still pastoring First Baptist Church. And so Atlanta was considered a very cosmopolitan city. And I thought I'd have an unlimited access to something fashionable. And Juanita Abernathy, Ralph Abernathy's wife, she said, I want you to come up here and we'll go shopping. And that's where I bought my dress.
Nice.
And she returned to Montgomery to be my matron of honor.
Lovely.
When we got married.
Nice, nice. That's wonderful.
And the chaplain of Tuskegee Institute is the person who married us. Yeah.
What year was that? What year did you marry Papa Herb?
We got married in 1960.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I love that story. I love the story so much because I feel like when I think about the story and I close my eyes, I like to think about it with my eyes closed. I see you on this long Chesterfield couch, pushed all the way over in the corner, not paying Papa Herb not one bit of attention. And I also have this vision in my mind of your girlfriends egging you on, saying, well, just date him and tell us what he's like. And then the universe was like, you all supposed to be together. You know, when I met you all, the thing that really impressed me about you and Papa Herb was just how radical y'all were. I still think of you as are in your love for each other, in your expression of spirituality and religion, your love for Black people, your understanding and analysis of our Africanness. And everything. I was like, I've never met a couple who were elders when I met you. You were